Do you want to build a snowman? Wait, sorry, that seminar is for tomorrow. If you want to build a computer, this is the place to be. I will tell you the components needed to turn it on and the software needed to run it. So let's just jump right in there and start with the first one, which is the motherboard. The motherboard is the heart of the PC because every component plugs into it, and you have to make sure all the components are compatible with the motherboard. Kumar says there's 4 types of motherboards, but 3 of them are obsolete, which leaves the fourth one, which is the ATX, or Advanced Technology Extended. That motherboard handles the quad cores processors used today, which we'll talk about later. Now that the heart of the computer is done, we'll talk about the body, which is the computer cases. There are 5 types of computer cases. I'm only going to mention 2 because one of them is obsolete and the other 2 are for many PCs, but most people use the full desktop cases. Escotel said the 2 main cases are the ATX, which is the most common, or the BTX, which stands for Balanced Technology Extended, and it's the newest version. Now that the heart and the body are out of the way, let's talk about the brains, which is the CPU, or Central Processing Unit. Naomi Bolton says CPU sends info and calculations to other components. There are 3 types of CPUs. 2 of them are obsolete with the single core and dual core, which leads us to the quad core processors, which are 4 processors in 1 unit. See, I told you we'd talk about them later. Now let's talk about the blood of the computer, which is the power supply unit. It keeps everything running. If you don't have a significant amount of power, some components will cease to function right. I would recommend, if you plan on upgrading a computer, get a power supply rated a little bit higher than what you want. 2 RAM or not 2 RAM? That is the question. Well, you actually need RAM, and RAM stands for Random Access Memory, or basically short-term memory for the computer. Usually 4 gigs is significant enough, but some people use 8 to 16 gigs just to show off. Long-term memory is the hard drive. There's 2 types of hard drives, the external hard drive and an internal hard drive. The external hard drive lets you archive files and back up your computer. The internal lets you save photos, videos, music, and software installed on your computer. Solid state drives are the best type of hard drive. Joel Domingo states solid state drives data are stored on flash memory chips instead of rotary ports, which makes them so fast. Now that the main components are said, let's do more optional components. The first would be the graphics card. It helps render video, pixels, and games for games and video editing. AJ Graham says there's 4 types of graphics cards, but I'm only going to mention 2. The first is the onboard and integrated video cards, which are built into the motherboard, which is why it makes this an optional component. The other is the PCI Express card, which is a slot on the motherboard. Sound cards are the same as far as the video cards, with them being onboard built into the motherboard. But if you like better sound quality, then the sound card's for you. Last but not least is the DVD and Blu-ray drivers. They install the software from hard copies of your disc. You can also watch movies if you want to. For instance, let's say the wife doesn't like the movie you want to watch. Well, then you just put it in the computer and bam, you get to watch your movie. Now that's all the components needed, let's talk about some of the software. The first and most important is the operating system. Without the operating system, you just got this nice piece of equipment that you just admire and beauty. The operating system recognizes all your inputs and has some software on top of them that you need to run the computer. The next is the antivirus. Most antiviruses do the same thing. Root.com says they do scan files, allow scheduling, remove threads, and shows the health of your computer. So now that you didn't know how to build a computer, I hope after listening to me talk, you feel a little more comfortable with building a computer. And everybody have a nice day.